Okay, the last time we did some of the records which we saw, but now we're just going to be getting most of our record sets so that we can automatic update feed. This is just WordPress stuff. So we did where we created more the last time. We're able to create this, and let's say we're saying testing this new plugin development. That's the title, and then we'll go in and then say we love words we are doing, and you cannot click enable or disable and then you create. So once you click that, it says you submitted successfully. I don't know what this submitted successfully. Now we want to see all the records we've created. How do we do that? So we need to call them in PHP. You use WordPress majorly. You select. So by doing select, you get to display the record you want. Now we'll just go back to code and let's get into work. So this is the form we created, and from the form, this is how we uploaded record. So once it is submitted, it comes into this place and say submitted successfully. Now what are we supposed to do? All we want to do is that we want to come over here outside the PHP tag. We want to create a div. So create a div, and let's just create a div and see what we do here. You can give the div a wrapper class, a class of the wrap. Let's call it a wrap. Whatever class you want to give it, that is fine. Whatever class is fine. You just get to say, okay, this is what I want and this is how it should be displayed. Yeah. So next, let's say testing in a paragraph tag. Let's say H2. Let's say testing this app. Let's save, and let's go to our view and then display. What do we see? You can see when you come over to you may not see it is inside. So what do we do now? What do we do? Inside our form, sorry, you can see it is telling you testing this app, and that's supposed to create it and the likes. So all we just do is that we just get ourselves settled, and that's displaying there. Okay, let's bring back our form here. I will say displaying results. Displaying results. That's it. And let's create a table here. Let's create a table with a class of plist. Let's do this. List table is a class in so you can just whatever CS class you want to create is fine, or you just know that once you're creating this class, you have it sorted out and every other part done. Now what we just do, we add the class head, which is the head, the T head, inside the T head, let's put a table row, and that table row, let's have some of our table head in it, which is the data head, table ID. We have ID at first, so we just get this and then Control D, Control C. So what we need to do, we need the ID, we need the title, and then the title. I like making it. Can make it. So we have the title, we have the service, service date. Then we want to see the status of this. What's the status? We want to also see the auditorium, size. We want to also see what is the conference size, and we want to also see what is the banquet size, and we want to also see what is the body. Lastly, we want to see the actions. Now what we're going to put in actions will be you viewing, editing, and the likes. Those ones will come under actions. Let's see if once we save, we'll go back to save. Let's refresh and see what happens. TLS. You can see all of them, they are showing here. You can see it's here, status, auditorium size, and the likes. So these are all what we have. I think let's put a break tag here to just get it out of the way. Since we have some okay, since there are some tags that are not closed here, let me see. So yeah, so these are just added this white fat. So white fat makes the header or whatever takes the next column. So you may not even have to put this break tag, which is still okay. So ensure that you have this white fat is a class. If you check, is a class on WordPress that has this. You can see tells you the title, then it makes it. You can see what that does. So that's for this. So you also add it for this part. So we're using strip, that's tables, which is strip tag for tables. You can see we have it to this point. So now how do we get? Now we have our displaying results, ID, title, service name, status, auditorium status, conference, banquets, body, and actions. Now actions, after actions, we want to get all what was submitted here to display here, to display at this point. So what do? We have the table head. When we're done with the table head, we just create the table body. Let's create the table body. So inside the table body, what do we need to put in? So we'll just do a select. Like I said, you have to do a select, and when you do that select, it gets it from the database. We're calling, let's say, this select. Just do a closing. Let's close the tag. Once we're able to close the tag, what we'll do next is that we'll just go straight to calling the results. And what do we need the results? We need results. Results equals to, so we'll call this and then we'll get results. So when you see get results, we want to do a select all from, what's the table name we're using? We have the table name here. When you go back here, you discover that we have a table name here. We're using this as the table name. So I'll still just call this in here from this, and we can do order by ID descending. So when you say descending or ascending, you're talking about how it should be displayed, the hierarchy. Should it be from top to down or from down to bottom? Down to top. So we get the results from the query. If we do a var dump here, and we'll do the results, let's see what we get when we do that. Let's refresh. You can see from the var dump at this point we're able to get all the, you can see the ID is 3, we're getting the title, you can see it's development title, we see the auditorium, this is the conference is 30, and the likes. This is for everything, and also the dates too. We're also getting the dates. You can see the var dump of the array. The array is displayed, and we can use that array to get our record set. So what we'll do next is let's just comment this. Let's comment this and let's do a loop. So for the loop, for each loop, if you don't, you can search about this. For each loop, we just take for every results. Let's get our results. Result variable as we can use results, or I just use print here. Then let's see, for inside this for each loop, we'll just do something very important here. So let's just echo. Let's echo. So it's not, you not have the object set, and inside the, so you have the array. So what we're just doing now is getting echo. What are we echoing? Let's, you can either echo or you print, and we'll go straight here and call our table row. So table row, inside the table row we want to get all our table data. So all the data in the table, I want to get that, and then let's see, we're printing this print. Then we'll look for what do we have inside. We have ID. And I'm going to copy this. I'll just copy it and get it to display on a lot of, okay. So all we'll be changing now will just be the variable, the object's ID, the ID from the database that's getting. If you check the var dump we did, you can see it here. Body, title, auditorium, conference, and the likes, banquet. This is what we just call in here, and it will give us that. So we'll do print our service underscore day. We should do let's leave status for now. We can do status, okay. And do status, we can do status is active on, active on, and then we'll do the auditorium, we get conference, we get after conference, we get banquet, and we get a body, okay. And then lastly we'll come in here and we'll have, let's just say view. Let's just say view. We're going to link it later on, but just to get it displayed. So we can do this. Wow, you can see all the records are here. This is the title, the service dates, this is the status, this is auditorium size, conference size, banquet, and then body. And we can do our view, whatever we want on this part. We just get it created, and that will be fine for us. So what we'll do, you can see our service dates is not giving us really service dates is not really giving us what we want, and that means we can go over and then get our date. Let's check what we have on the database. We have it as created time, service day, not date, service day. Okay, let's see what did we put in here. We said service day, so it's service day. Yeah, so we'll come back, we'll refresh and see what happens. So we have our service day, we have our status, we have this down to this point, and now you can see at this point we have 1, 2 is giving us the ID instead of it giving us what we want to see, active or disabled. So whichever one you pick here, active or disabled, it will come up. So what we want to do now is just to get it to display this, and then we'll wrap a little bit on the body aspect, just strip the body. So if you have a body content of if you have a body content that is quite large, let's see, I was looking at something previously. Let's do this. Just copy something from in here. So we'll say this is the title, and then this is the body. You can see by the time we do it, let's make it even disabled, and let's select a different date so that we get it. I'll make this 31, so that, yeah. Then you say create. You can see at this point is really disabling the view here, so it's affecting what we have already. So what we can do here is that we're going to allow you view it, but when you're viewing it, you can see a lot about the details. But for here, we'll just give a snippet, just a restricted display. So for us to do that, on our for each loop, we'll just come here. First we'll do, so let's say main body. So let's say main body is equal to substring, so we're using a substring on it, and we're using the print body. The index where it starts from 0, and then we'll get 50 characters from it. So we get 50 characters. You can see the length that is given and its position. The string return will contain at most the length character beginning from the start, depending on the length bit. So we're having from 50 is okay for the body. So instead of us displaying that, we just come over here and put this in the body point here. So let's go back, let's save and go back, let's refresh. What do we see? What do we see? Let's see what we're doing. Print body. Substring print body. Okay, I think we're on line 0, 50. That's the main body. Okay, so I think that's majorly it. It's supposed to display. So when it's substringing it, you still have some. Let's redone this. Let's display this in body and see what's it giving us. Okay, so it's actually there. It's actually there. So we write one, status is 0, the ID is 4, and okay, so let me see. Let me see what's happening here. Okay, so we have that set. I think we're good to go. We're good to go. And main body. Going to concatenate this. But then while we're having this string start comes. Okay, we'll just look at why this is displaying that way. I think it's the main body that is giving us that issue. It's even better that we are debugging in here, so you get to see the code as it runs. So something happening to that. So this. Okay, so when we get the results, which is that as prints, and then this, getting the points, the body. Okay, so we just have to add script tag here because it's getting, the body is getting some HTML content, and when that comes in, it gets to stop the page. That's where you see the page got broken at the point there. But so if we remove this script tag here, watch. So what will happen is when it is calling it, for the each that is calling, it's calling it, and then there's a break in the HTML content here. We don't want that, so all we just do is we added strip tag to it, so it removes the tags from the body, then it's now limited to whatever content we want. I hope you understand that. So when you do this, you get to see it based on. So I'll just reduce it back to 50. You can make yours whatever number you want it to be, but I'll make my 50. And we're good. The last thing we'll do here before we wrap up this session will be for you to edit this part. So you're editing this part to be active or not active. So let's do that. Just go straight to a point where we have our code base set. So what would that do? What will happen is we want to check when that active is on. If it is 1, this is what it will do. If it is this, it is that. So let's just do the if statement. So we'll say if the print is active on is equal to 0. When it's equal to 0, what do we do? So we tell the system this is what we want you to do when it's 0. So when it is 0, we just get our status. So since status is equal to, let's print this, and then let's just do span style equal to style color red. So this is when it is equal to 0. We want to show you that, or to tell you this you've done is wrong. This, so we say disabled. Then we'll do a span, close our span, and then we're fine. Now let's not do what if else if. I just like to pick this. So you have it else if this is equal to 1. So you're now asking what if it is equal to 1, what happened? So let's get that sorted. This is what will happen. We'll display this as what? This will be dark green. It will be active. Else, if you check the database, you discover that for the type of the, let's check, you can see it has we enabled it to have 0, 1, and 2. So these are the enum that will be taken if active on. But when we're selecting, we're either selecting active or disabled or active. But when this is done, we can now automatically close it by pushing it to 2. So we're doing S. So S. Let's just make this guy status will just be let's say dark orange, and it will be closed. So we're saying at this point it should be closed. When it is closed, we know we're done with the whole of this. So all we'll do, we just copy this and change it to the status. Where status is, this should be status. So what we're doing here, let me just explain again. We're doing if, so it will get the print active on. If it is equal to 0, we just change status to be disabled. Else, if it is equal to 1, we'll make it active, and if it is equal to nothing, which is 2 later on, we'll just make it closed. So at the end of the service, when we're done with the service for Sunday, the next service will make it close. So let's display and see how this display. Wow, you can see it. We have disabled, active, active, active. At a point, we have to still do close. So when it is closed, you also see that it is closed. So if it is not 1, it is not 0, definitely it's going to be 2, and that 2 will be considered as closed. So I believe, hope you've really got a lot from this. So the next video we'll be doing will be how we can see the display, the full display of each service, each result as we get it. Then we're going to work on these actions. Thank you very, very much. See you in the next.